Hi there, Kendra Tolbert here. I'm a registered dietitian and yoga teacher, and I specialize in women's health and fertility. And today I have an interview for you. Not too long ago, I had the chance to interview Valerie Agyeman. Now, Valerie is also a women's health dietitian, and she's the founder of Flourish Heights. In this interview, we talked all things body image, well-being, and women's health. You're really going to love it, so I don't want to take up any more of your time. Let's get right into it.
Great. Hi, Valerie. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Kendra. Thank you for having me. I'm excited about this conversation we're about to have
Oh,
today.
it's always a pleasure to chat with you. So I'm happy that we get to record it and share it. So let's
Yeah.
dive right in. Can you go ahead and tell everyone who you are and how you ended up in the world of women's health nutrition?
All right. Well, hello, everyone of the Live Fertile community. I am Valerie Agyeman, as Kendra had already mentioned, and I am a women's health dietitian. I'm also the founder of Flourish Heights, which is a nutrition and wellness community where we're just empowering women to live their best selves and empowering them in health and wellness, helping them to gain more confidence in their food choices, empowering them in their wellness. And my journey to becoming a women's health dietitian was pretty interesting. I mean, it began after I obtained my credentials a few years ago. I mean, it's about going like about 5 years ago now. I've always been drawn to just like helping women in whatever way that I can with their health. I've just had that connection since I was, like 18 or 19. And so after I became a dietitian, I was counseling women in various settings, from clinical to community to, educational type of events and things. And really after that, I found that a lot of women experience hormonal or hormone related issues. And I felt that there was just more that I could be doing to help them improve their quality of life and, through diet and lifestyle. And it really honestly wasn't until I guess I dived a little deeper when someone really close to me struggled with fibroids. And it was a very hard time watching her deal with this excruciating pain, heavy periods, which at the time, I mean, I thought it was we all thought it was the norm, right? Um, to seeing her in, survival mode throughout her pregnancy, um, almost leading to a near life or near death experience from all these sorts of complications. It was just a lot. And, this experience actually led me to my very, first GYN visit, which I never had before. Even as a dietitian, it's like I'm always worrying about like other people's health and not really minding my own. I mean, I could go on and on and on. But I quickly learned like your reproductive health and hormonal health. I mean, it's so important and it impacts the rest of our bodies. So as someone who just loved counseling women and me hearing these types of issues come up, I was just like, why aren't we talking about this more? And watching someone who's very near and dear to my heart go through what she went through with fibroids, I said, like I gotta dive into this area of the field. I mean, I didn't really have a specialty or a niche before, but I was like, okay, this is definitely the area where I feel it's like it's my calling in that area. I quickly learned that throughout my career as a dietitian. Thus far. And, with there being about 2.3 Black dietitians in the US, I also noticed quickly that there was a lack of representation in the women's health dietitian space. And with more and more women of color, they were, reaching out to me for nutrition counseling regarding their hormonal issues. It was really just only right for me to kind of like play a part in filling or helping to fill this void or this gap, whatever you want to call it. And recently I just advanced my training in functional medicine, focusing on women's health because I really want to help women dig deeper and find more holistic and natural ways to manage their hormone related conditions, in addition to whatever like therapies they're possibly on, whether it's conventional or, whatever the case is, so they can live in abundance, because I truly feel like we all deserve abundance. And so really now I'm dedicating my whole life and career. I feel like it sounds crazy as I'm saying this out loud, but I dedicated my whole life and career to empowering women in their health, especially when it comes to reproductive health, because too many of us really do suffer in silence, and we just don't know how to prioritize it, how to advocate for ourselves. The list goes on. I mean, I'm still learning. And so I can only imagine what people that are not like in this space, what they don't know, because it's like I'm always learning something new. And, but we have to start from somewhere. And I just love seeing, all the women's health dietitians out there doing the amazing work, especially you, Kendra. I mean, we have our own little story and connection. I don't know if we have time for that today, but, we connected just a couple years ago, and I was doing community events, here in the DC metropolitan area. And, around that time, I was kind of discovering what my niche or my specialty was going to be. And, I invited you to come to Bloom. We just kind of kicked off. And, you've taught me so much. You inspire me, just the work that you are doing for your community. I think it's super amazing. And I remember telling you this like years ago, like I used to watch you on Good Morning Washington. I was like, oh my goodness, why don't I know this dietitian? And I was also doing media segments at Good Morning Washington on ABC7. And and it's crazy how life just kind of happens, and now we're connected and we're doing the work for our community. And so, I knew that this was an area I could help women, especially through nutrition and lifestyle. And I'm really just honored, and grateful to God that I get to do this work every single day, counseling women dealing with these conditions from PCOS to fibroids. Now I work at a GYN clinic, and, through my extensive research and training ongoing, right? Because you can never learn enough. I've just kind of witnessed how nutrition and lifestyle really does impact our hormones, fertility, our menstrual cycle. And I'm just really happy to use, my platform, Flourish Heights, to kind of empower women in that. So that's like the long, short story as to, who I am, what I do, why I do what I do. And, I'm really just happy to, be here to share that with you guys.
Oh, I love that. I love just how clearly you were able to share exactly what the catalyst was for you, and watching someone else have this near-death experience sounds like it was a really potent time and a really potent event, and it kicked all this off. And now everyone gets to benefit from that, because the way you share on your Instagram is just so generously. And one of the things that I love about what you share is that you're always bringing it back to how someone feels about themselves, and you're always mentioning body image. And so to me, that feels very unique in nutrition. So I'd love to hear more about how body image plays a role in your approach to women's health nutrition.
Let's be real. As women, one of the things that we're constantly thinking about is our body. How can we talk about our health? How can we talk about our wellness? How can we talk about nutrition without addressing body image? And that's really just how I feel about it, period. I mean, it's as simple as that. And so I just felt like, there's a conversation, something is missing. So I even took a step to kind of advancing my training a little bit in body image. I feel like all practitioners, all clinicians should really find time to understand body image, how they can bring that into their practice. And especially when it comes to women's health, we are constantly, whether you're dealing with a health condition, body image comes into that. How you were brought up from when you were younger, what influenced that, your thoughts, I can go on. It's a very complex topic. But I will say every opportunity that I get, I do make time to empower women just to know that, we always, well, you and I mean, you probably heard this phrase, like all bodies are good bodies, what is a perfect body? We can all, not necessarily, we don't have to run after body love. And I can go into that a little later on. But have you ever really sat with yourself and evaluated how you really truly feel about your body at whatever stage you are in your life, And so my approach to women's health is, keeping it simple. And I know you also have a very simplistic approach. I mean, we already go through so much in our lives. We have so much pressure around us. There's a lot of pressure to look a certain way, to act a certain way, to eat a certain way. It's never ending. And so what I do with my brand is I have this space and platform to welcome everybody of all bodies, to say that it's not about how you look, honestly. I mean, it is about how you look with yourself, right? But we're here to just like let you know that you are worthy in whatever body that you're in. And you can achieve optimal health and optimal wellness no matter what you look like, no matter what size you look like. So, we do a lot of encouraging, inspirational type of posts. We talk about just whole health as a whole. We don't talk much about weight per se. There's not a pressure on weight loss like society has us, kind of focus on a lot. And that's a whole nother conversation for another day, that. But yeah, it's just very simple. It's like, what can you do to add a little bit more joy into your day? What can you do to, do something that will make you feel good? Eat something that will make you feel good. What can you do to better your health, your whole health, And so those are just a few things and a few, ways of how I address our women's health approach, incorporating that body image piece.
Yeah. You touched on a bit of this while you were sharing that answer, that it's not just about how you look. So I feel like that's a common misconception with body image. I get to have a good body image, or I have a good relationship with my body once it looks like the way I thought it should look based on what everyone's been telling me. But you made it clear that it's more about how you feel, and it's more about your own experience, your own relationship with your body beyond just what it looks like. So what are some common misconceptions that you would like to see cleared up around body image?
So many. But first, for those who aren't familiar with body image, I think we throw it around a lot, especially like in media. It's like body love your body image, healthy. Let's all have a healthy body image. But like, what is that? And so, in a simple, I guess a simple way to just explain that is, your body image. We all have it. It's really how you see yourself. When you wake up, you go to the mirror. How you picture yourself in your mind. It's what you believe about your own appearance, like you've mentioned also based on your experiences, because we all have those experiences that have shaped us into how we feel about ourselves and how we feel about our bodies. So whether that's your height, your shape, your weight, how you kind of control your body as you move, the confidence that you have or your self-esteem, because those are both connected. How you how you feel in your body. I think, and I touched on this a little bit, but as when we were all younger, and I have my own body image experiences, that I'm happy I'm at a better place right now. But many of us internalize these messages starting at a young age, and that can lead to you either feeling super positive or super negative about your body. And so having a more healthier body image, it's a very important part of your mental well-being. Having a healthy body image means that you're really comfortable in your body and how what you think and how you judge your own self-worth, and having more of a negative body image, which is what a lot of women struggle with at various points in our lives. I mean, our bodies are always evolving, and so having that negative body image, it can put you at a higher risk of certain health conditions. Maybe you're thinking negatively about how your appearance, how you look, and some common misconceptions, as you ask, Kendra, that I often hear. I mean, there's so many, right? But one thing I do want to address as the elephant in the society room is that skinny means healthy. I will speak on my own. I mean, before I became a dietitian, before I dove into the health world, this was back in my teenage years, 14, 15, 13. I struggled with my body image. I was always, larger than my peers and my, white counterparts. I developed early. I had breasts, like big breasts at 9, 10, 11. I had my hips, my boobs. I was the one that started my period before everyone else. And so I just always, and then on top of that, I was like always the only Black girl in the crowd. And then on top of that, I just looked larger than everybody. So I was just like, I feel like I'm out of place. I've always, and from so many experiences growing up, I just always felt like I never had a place to connect or to relate with people. And that shaped how I felt about my body, because I always felt like my body was not right. My body was not supposed to look the way it was. I wasn't thinking about my genetic makeup and that on my dad's side, we have a lot of curves and a lot of hips, and we're thick and we're large and we're heavy set. And my mom's side is more, slim frame, skinny, all that. And I got kind of like the best of both worlds. So I got, I got it all, but when your surroundings look different, you feel different. You feel like you don't belong. And, I grew up thinking like, I wasn't healthy because of the way I looked. Honestly, that's one of the things that pushed me that's one of the many things that pushed me into kind of this nutrition world. I got into over exercising my ass off. Can I say that? I got into over exercising my ass off. I lost a whole lot of weight. I equated healthy to skinny. Oh my goodness. I mean, I was the skinniest I've ever been. People thought I was like sick, and that's another thing too, another conversation. People think you're too skinny, too sick, so much noise. Let's tone it down. But I think a lot of conversations are happening now to kind of bring that to the table, which like what we're doing today, I think that's really important. But I through so many other experiences, I got to a place of, I love myself and I love my body. I'm more neutral about it. I appreciate the things that it's doing for me. Getting into the nutrition world has helped because I, learned about nutrition and how food can make you feel good, make you feel confident, can impact your energy level, impact, so many things. And I can go on, but all of this to say, that's out of the many misconceptions around body image that I would like to see cleared up, is that skinny means healthy. I mean, in this day and age, it's almost like, physical appearance or being skinny, it seems to dictate more than what we'd like to admit. I mean, we see it in the magazines when we're at the grocery store, online, whatever. We see it on Instagram. We see it even in the shows that we watch. We're typically, being shown these really slender individuals. And so if you constantly see that all around you, like I said, with my own experience, you kind of feel like, damn, like, where's a place for me? I wish I can show you some of these pictures I actually just found of when I was in elementary school with my peers. Oh my God. I'm like, one day I'm going to show it to the world. I'm just not ready yet. I'm just not ready yet. I don't look like this, Valerie. I mean, when do we all, we don't look like how we look like now. We're looking at our pictures from like when we're like 9, 10, 11 years old. But I will show that to the world one day at some point to kind of share my experience, because I think it is relatable and a lot of people would be able to understand. There's this desire for everyone to chase after having like a perfect body, which is not only impossible. I mean, I see it in the clients that I have every day. I had a client yesterday, showed up at a meeting. Everything that I said, she's like, yeah, I mean, look at me, I'm fat. It's like, look at me, I need to, like, you can feel like it, and it's virtual. I can feel the hatred and the anger around her body. And that's tough, I mean, what can we talk about in 1 hour of a nutrition client session when we have so many things to address? But that's why I said earlier, I think it's really important for clinicians to have a general understanding of body image, to check yourself when it comes to, weight stigma and what you think about that, But yeah, there's this misconception. I had to reassure her multiple times, like, you are worthy. Your body is worthy. She's over here like, I need to lose a unrealistic amount of weight in a very short period of time. But it's kind of, reassuring, encouraging, empowering, and, then the clinical strategies come into play. But, it's a lot, and it's unrealistic. And I think, the bottom line is that just because someone is thin, we should not assume that he or she is healthy or protected from getting things like heart disease or diabetes. I've worked in so many different settings now. I mean, I've had patients who were very thin and had struggled with diabetes or high cholesterol, hypertension. I mean, so doing that and having these assumptions, it really could potentially result in later problems for that person. If you think, oh, we don't need to address these things because you're skinny, you're healthy. You don't know that. And so, which is why I really love this health at every size approach. I incorporate that into my practices as it makes sense. And I really love it. For those who don't know much about it, it's an approach that really addresses like weight bias and stigma in individuals who are, living in larger bodies. And it really focuses less on weight and more on health, which that is the part that we all need to focus on, And so we're looking at some of the things I look at, we're looking at your behaviors, your healthy behaviors. We're looking at, ways you can eat a healthier or more plant-based, having more plant-based eating routine. So like adding more fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds and legumes to what you're already doing, because we know that those kinds of foods are, packed with nutrients that are very beneficial for your overall health. When I say plant-based, I'm not talking about like going full-blown vegan, all that, which if you do, that's great. That's wonderful. But I'm just talking about, ways to kind of add more plants into your eating routine, but not from a restrictive standpoint. We're looking at ways you can have, you can move your body a little bit more. Because we could all do that being in this pandemic that we're in. And a lot of us working from home, including myself. And as a dietitian, that's one of my struggles. I don't exercise as much as I should be. I don't move as much as I should be. I love my couch, which is right next to me. It's super cozy, And so we also look at proper amount of sleep. We look at stress, ways you can add more joy into your life. ways that you can, whether that's through food and comfort, whatever the case is. So there's just so many other things to focus on rather than weight. I mean, weight is not the end all be all. Weight, it doesn't even factor in a whole lot, and so it's looking at, like a more whole health approach rather than like a weight approach. So yeah, that would be one of the biggest misconceptions that I would love to see cleared up. And I think it's slowly, you know, um, getting there. I mean, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in mainstream wellness and mainstream media, but I do have faith that we will get there one day. And even at Bloom this year, which Bloom is a annual event that Flourish Heights has, where we kind of bring women together to talk about all kinds of things and health topics that are overlooked in the community. And this year we had a licensed psychologist and a dietitian who kind of specializes in eating disorders, who are both women of color. They came together and they talked about some of these issues that we're seeing in the community centered around weight, larger sized bodies, fat women, fat Black women. And so I really love that we had that conversation because a lot of people learned a lot of things. And so one of the things that stood out to me was, getting to a place of body neutrality. It's not about loving your body 24/7. It's not about, you're going to have those ups and downs. You're going to go through seasons. And so it's just finding that neutrality in each stage of your body image journey.
Yeah. You touched on so many important pieces there. There was one part where I was like, ooh, yes. I feel like this is a part of the conversation that's missing so often, is that so often for people, we say that it's about them wanting to be healthier when people say they want to lose weight, but often it's just about people wanting to feel safer. Like they just want to feel like they belong somewhere. And we have all these images that you don't belong unless you're a certain size. And so you had that experience when you were younger. And I'm sure a lot of people have that experience and we cloak it and, oh, well, this is good for my health. And it's no, we just want to feel safe and like we belong. And in some cases, we want to feel like we don't stand out, especially as Black women. Like I already stand out enough. I'm already different enough. So to be different in another way, which PS, if you're in a larger body, you're the norm. Like that's actually the majority of people are in larger bodies. And yet we present it as if it's abnormal, like that's the norm. So I feel like we need to come back for a part 2 where we actually have a chance to talk about how unique the body image experience can be in Black women, especially because so often you just want to feel safe. You just kind of want to blend in because you're already standing out in other ways. And then even body composition, I feel, is something that we can talk about because in the Black community, it's often like, well, I don't want to be skinny, but you still want a particular body.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to have that conversation, I hope, someday in the future.
Yeah, I'd have to also connect you with the licensed psychologist who came and spoke at Bloom. I think she had a lot of insight on that topic. So I think that would be a great connection for you.
Yes. Okay. So in one of your presentations, you shared 5 steps that someone could take to improve their body image. Can you give us like a brief overview of those 5 steps?
Absolutely. Yeah, I guess I'll just start off by saying like body image is a journey. And sometimes, what would be the most helpful is for you to seek a community that is supportive. Find someone, a specialist, whether it's a mental health therapist or a dietitian who specializes deeply in body image and just focuses on that topic. And so if you are struggling out there, please do consult with one of those healthcare providers to really get the help that you need because you deserve abundance. You deserve to have a amazing quality of life. You are worthy. Your body is worthy. And sometimes that just takes, finding a professional who can really sit down with you, do an assessment on you, and really have a conversation with you to come up with realistic strategies that are individualized to you and your lifestyle. But these tips that I can give you, they're very generalized, but I think that this is something that no matter what stage that you are on, in your body image journey, I think it can be very beneficial. And so I would first say that know the power of your body. Okay, one of the biggest things that we love to do with Flourish Heights is we just empower women in their health. So we talk about so many things. We talk about the functionality of our body, what it's capable of doing. So really, no matter what health challenge you have, maybe you have, PCOS and in your own struggles with your body image, you have fibroids, whatever the case may be. And I know it's different for everybody, but understanding that your body has so many functions, you can think about all the functions of your body. I mean, from processes like being able to ingest food, to your ability to walk and see, to the many talents that you have, or being able to communicate with others and take care of your daily activities, or whatever the case is for you. I think it's really important for you to kind of center your mind around like the many functionalities that your body has, and thinking about the power that it really truly has. I mean, your body is capable of doing so many amazing things that you don't even know, you're capable of doing. So, if you are struggling with negative thoughts around your body, also think about those positive things. I remember we had an Instagram live, I think it was in the summer of last year, around PCOS and finding body peace. I think that's what it was. We had invited on a therapist who specializes in PCOS and body image, and she came. You were on that. If you remember, she shared a strategy with us, and she talked about. Oh my goodness, I'm like blanking out. She talked about. If there is say there's a part of your body that you hate, for example, if that is your abdominal area, your stomach, you just hate it. It's like, she's like, go to the mirror, even if it's for 3 seconds, take a look at that part of your body, touch it, feel it, sit with it, and then come back again the next day. Maybe you stay for like 10 seconds and then come back the next day. Maybe it's 20 seconds. And then maybe in that moment you are, you're saying something positive, even if you don't want to just say it, I liked that you were capable of birthing my 2 children, whatever it is, coming back again and, really spending time to caress it, whatever. I don't know, maybe that's not the right word to use, but feel on it, whatever. And so that will slowly kind of help you to reframe your thinking a little bit around that part of your body that you hate. I love that she shared that. And that has really, really stuck with me. And that's something that, of course, how I said it, it's just a very general way, how she explained it. But I really do use that with the clients that I have. And that has really helped them. It's not the end all be all cure, but I think that's a really great place to start. And so really knowing the true power of your body and what it's capable of doing is beyond amazing. When you start to think about those things, I think it can really help to take you to a more healthier place when it comes to your body image. So I would say that would be the first thing. The second thing, and I remember the licensed psychologist, I love the guests that I always collaborate with because I learn so much every single day. But one of the things that I learned at Bloom today, this year, a couple of weeks ago when we held our event, our virtual retreat, from the licensed psychologist, she said something about, cutting out negative media. Ooh, that was a big one, because whether or not, a lot of people struggle with what they see, whether that's on Instagram or websites or the TV shows. So check yourself, check your thinking. How do you feel? How do all of these things, or, just the media, the people that you see, how do these things make you feel? Then you really got to take time to cut it out. Do whatever you have to do. If it's not giving you energy, then say bye-bye. If it's that person that you're following and you notice you start getting jealous or envious of their body or whatever the case is, or it kind of takes you to a place of, having these negative thoughts, then bye, deuces, unfollow, block, whatever you need to do. If somebody is coming at you, making comments about your body, you need to have boundaries. You need to check them. So when it comes to the media, I think it's really important to cut out the negative media. I would say that that it really can impact our mental health, and mental and physical health are so much connected, and even impacts how we view our quality of life and living in abundance, which is something that we talk about quite a lot. And so if that's what's impacting that, girl, you gotta say bye. You deserve the best, right? Another thing would be focusing on whole health. I mean, I touched on knowing the power of your body, but if you're thinking about, all areas of your wellness, which is truly important, thinking about your physical health, your emotional health, even your spiritual health, think about, the amazing work that you do, your career success, whatever it is, the relationship that you have with your significant other, your family, your friends, focus on what makes you happy. Don't get so stuck on this one part of your life, but think about like all the things that are going on in your life, in your entire wellness, and focus on the positives. Easier said than done. I know you're probably looking at me like, girl, but I mean, it really can play a role in that if you really want to turn those thoughts around. So set aside time to work on those areas of your life, and you really just might find that it reduces the unhealthy focus on body image. I would say the fourth, so that was the third thing. I would say the fourth would be exercising for the right reasons. I think there's a lot of pressure especially, oh God, in the beginning of the pandemic, Lord and behold, where do I start? Oh my goodness. And I know you saw it too, Kendra. I was just rolling my eyes. Oh God, everybody and their mama on, quarantine 20, quarantine 15, whatever. You need to get up and work out 24/7, try these exercise videos. Oh, and then when you remember, when there were lives 24/7 throughout the day, every single day, Instagram lives. And a lot of these would be exercise videos and, all right, everybody get up. You're not going to get this quarantine 15. And I'm like, do you know what people are going through right now? Somebody just lost their family member to COVID, and they're coping, they're grieving. What is all this, pressure? It's important to exercise, to have movement, but do what you can do. Don't allow it to kind of dictate what you need to be doing every second of the day. There's so many benefits of movement. I mean, for your hormones and just for your health and mental health as a whole. I'll never say don't exercise. You need to a couple days a week. But if it's becoming something that, you're essentially doing because you just feel so much pressure and you feel guilty, if there's so much guilt around it, and it's almost like you dread exercising, then that's when there's a problem. So it's really important for us to change our views on exercise, and listen to your body. I know that phrase is thrown around, another thing that's thrown around, but and exercise for the joy and the fun of it. Focus on how good your body feels when you're moving and sweating. I know I love it. That's one thing that's kind of keeping me going, because I'll tell y'all now, like I said earlier, exercise and Valerie, we're in a complicated relationship right now. We're in a situationship. And but I always think about, man, I love sweating. It actually really feel like it's helping me with my stress management when I can just move, and whether it's like something I see on TV, like a workout or something, I just get up and do it. I'm not probably doing the steps right, but I'm breaking a sweat right here, so I know I'm burning something, right? I'm feeling good. So when it comes to exercise, just exercise for the right reasons. And the fifth thing, I think this is like the best things you can do for yourself, is positive self-talk. I mean, maybe you love your legs, right? Or maybe you love your hair, or you love your teeth. I had a like a love-hate relationship with my teeth growing up. It looks so much different from what it is right now. I know this is like super off topic, but it had a gap. I had like a lot of gums and things like aligned over it. Oh my goodness. I hated it. I would never smile, and I was never confident. I was like, have this like weird fake smile, like, in pictures. And for me, getting to that point was so that, cause growing up, my mom was single. She had, like my siblings, about three of us. She didn't have the money to invest in orthodontics or in dentists. We didn't have like insurance coverage for certain things or whatever. So I didn't get that luxury of like getting braces and fixing my teeth when I was younger. So into my adulthood, I struggled with just self-esteem and confidence around that, until I took a step to save up, got them dollars, and went and got, I got braces, and I got my gums all like nice and, shaped and whatever. Especially with me, I'm like always in the media and got TV and doing all kinds of stuff. So I'm like, Lord, the only way I can show up for these people is for me to feel good, with myself. So, all that to say is I really had to speak positive to myself, and I would also focus on the areas of my body that I did really like. So do whatever you have to do. Show love to all parts of your body, even the parts that you highly dislike. I am not against, and I wanted to address this too. I'm not against weight loss. I'm against weight loss for the wrong reasons. And which means that you're doing it because you feel that you have to do this for, because someone else is telling you to do it, or you're doing it because mainstream media is all up in your face and telling you like you have to look this way because that means you're healthy or accepted and all that. And I know it's really hard with all the pressures around us, but and that's why it's finding someone who can kind of help you and counsel you in that area it would be really, really helpful. But in terms of continuing to have more of a positive or just positive self-talk as a whole, I think it's really about like shifting your mindset. I mean, the more that you say it, the more you might start to believe it. It's going to take some time. I mean, this is not like an overnight journey, but whether it's you have to grab a journal, write it down. Just be kind to yourself, be consistent with your practice, show compassion. But I do really think and believe that one of the many ways that we can work towards a more neutral or more healthy body image is if we are honest. We're honest with ourselves, and we give ourselves, some grace. It gets difficult, but I think these 5 steps, knowing the power of your body, number 1, cutting out the negative media, number 2, focusing on your whole health, number 3, exercising for the right reasons, and what was the last one? Positive self-talk. I think, just those 5 tips in itself could be a great place to start. And if you are seriously struggling with your body image, find a healthcare provider. That could be a mental health therapist, and a dietitian who specializes in body image could be a great, kind of collaborative. Those are two people that you can have on your team to kind of help you work through your body image and maybe thoughts around food and such. So yes, you guys, I hope that's really helpful.
I can't imagine that it wouldn't be, because those were really, really good tips. And I love that you mentioned that it's okay to turn to professionals for assistance. Like, this isn't something that you have to do alone. And I'd like to add to that, like, make sure it's the right professional for you. Like, you have a right to change your healthcare providers if they're not supporting your journey. It is okay for you to look for someone else, because sometimes the person who you're working with is working through their own body image issues. And I've, without question, seen it where the person will tell you, well, if you lose weight, then you'll feel better. That's not the person for you. Like, find someone who can really support you in what you are walking through. So thank you for those beautiful answers and tips, Valerie. And thank you for this entire interview. And I know that after watching this, people are going to want to know more about you and where they can find you. So where can they do that?
Where can they do that? I'm like, wait, where can y'all find me? Okay, so Flourish Heights. So flourish like a flower. And heights, I can never like think about, okay, what am I comparing that to? I always say like walking up the stairs. We're going higher. I don't know. But Flourish Heights is the name. You can find us on all social media platforms. We're very active on Instagram. We have a website, flourishheights.com. You'll find weekly blog posts there, so more resources. We have, we host Instagram lives. I bring on guests who are, have various specialties in the women's health space. We also have a special surprise coming up. I can't share it with you guys, but that just, we'll have more opportunity for you guys to, be empowered in your health, educational sessions and such. I am also, I will be taking on clients, and with Flourish Heights, I do it with the GYN practice virtually, but I will be seeing clients. So if you're interested, just send me an email, or you can fill out our client application, which is on Instagram. The link is in our bio. So if you have things like PCOS, you have fibroids, endometriosis, or just general wellness type of things you want to kind of manage more holistically, I would love to, get to know you a little bit and see if we're a good fit for each other.
Thank you for that. And I'll make sure to put all of that in the description box below. So thank you again, Valerie.
Thank you, Kendra. Always a great time chatting with you.